6? Okay. 6 o'clock, we're gonna go ahead and get started. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the Girl Scouts lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and remain standing while we pray over and meet us. Dear Heavenly Father, we are so thankful to be a part of Brimfield. And we're so pleased that we have visitors tonight from our Girl Scout troops. And we know that you're going to bless us. You're going to help us to use our knowledge and our wisdom that we can go ahead and put our residents first. We ask for your blessings in thy holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, first of all, what I want to do is I'm going to introduce you to these people. You know, all these guys. We've got Joe here. He's the IT Jedi. He makes everything run. And Dave, this is probably your least favorite person because he makes sure there's salt on the roads and you have to go to school.
I'm the nice guy. I told you I was nice.
And this is my favorite friend. This is John. He controls all the money that your parents give to us. And my name's Mike. And this is, I'm a trustee, and this is Sue. And then this is Nick Koya. You all know Nick. We're all trustees. That is Chief Mullally down there. He's our fire chief. This is Holly. She's our tie it all together person. This is Cassie. Who can't decide what color her hair is. But she's our park and rec director. So she takes care of all of our parks and all our programs. And this is Mike Ladd, who brings all these great stores and restaurants to town. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through our beginning part so you guys can learn. And then what we'll do is after we get through safety concerns, we're going to go ahead and present the awards to you. Or the certificate of attendance. So, okay, now's our time for announcements and correspondence. Has anybody signed up?
I have an announcement.
Oh, yeah, you're not there yet. Did you guys sign up? Make sure you sign up.
I have an announcement. I just wanted to share on October the 10th, I was invited as a senior resident of Brimfield to come up to the high school for the National Honor Society breakfast. And so all of us were 55 or older. The choir from the high school sang. And we got had a really nice buffet type breakfast. And I enjoyed myself, met some people I didn't know, and kind of renewed the ones I did know. And in November, they're going to have a veterans breakfast by the National Honor Society, and all of the seniors were our servers, and they took excellent care of us. So I just want to let you know that I represented Brimfield.
Was it good food?
Wonderful, really good food. Good food.
Thanks a lot for doing that, sir. Okay, now we have our meeting guests. And now that's not there.
No scheduled meeting guests.
We have no meeting guests. We have minutes. Since I wasn't at the last meeting, I'm going to be.
Well, we have two, we weren't able to pass the meeting minutes from the meeting before either. So that's 9/17. So I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 9/17/2020. Sue wasn't present, so
Oh,
I
okay.
have to approve those.
And I'll second that motion.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes,
And now we have the meeting for 10-2.
correct. I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 10/2.
Second.
All in favor, Mike?
Abstain.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
John?
Yep.
On the 9/17, I think Sue should have abstained for the meeting minutes.
Oh, if I wasn't here, I
Because you
should
weren't
have.
here. Correct. So can you just change that in the record? Okay.
Okay, so that's on the agenda. Has anyone, have you all had a chance to read the agenda? Is there any addition, subtraction?
It's all good.
We're all good? Good. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented. I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the purchase orders.
Second.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Abstain.
Motion passed.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the warrants.
Second.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Abstain.
Motion passed.
And now it's time for public comments, and we have one person, Bill Anderson.
I just have a couple of things to say. Over at the fire department admin building behind it, there's a trench drain that appears to be left at the contractor says it belongs to the township. And it's 35 pieces over there at $350 a piece. That's what they sell for. It's $12,500. Just wondering what the township's gonna do with it. Also wondering, should that much trench drain have been installed someplace? I'd like probably somebody to review the original drawings and see if they left a big section out. Also, the downspout drains for the administration building, in my opinion, is unacceptable, and it will be a great safety hazard once all that water collects and runs all down to the front of the house and floods the basement, which is what's going to happen. The concrete pad they poured slopes towards the doors and not away. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Yeah, I talked to Scott a bit, so I'm gonna go up there and sort of look around.
That's one of the, just as an FYI, that's one of the punch items for the, that get finished over there, is to take the downspout. So
Right.
I don't know anything about the.
On the fire station side, if you remember, they went out and fixed it themselves, the FD, they ran a pipe out there because it was,
Wasn't that on the punch list, Craig?
That is not a fix.
well, temporary.
Yeah. and
Just
it's
to
one
keep
of
the
those
water
things.
away, because they're dealing with the
Yep.
problem.
Okay. Okay, well, that's it on the safety. Okay, so do we have any safety concerns? I think we just heard one. So, thanks, Bill. Okay, well, now is the time, I think we're gonna go ahead and pass out the attendance.
Well, before you do that, I have a story to tell.
Oh, Lord, get comfortable.
Back in 1956, I was a Girl Scout. First, I was a Brownie. Then we had a ceremony, and I walked across 3 chairs like this.
1856?
Yes, 1856. And I flew up from a Brownie to a Girl Scout. And I was a Girl Scout till I graduated from high school. And I just really commend these young ladies that they want to learn the structure, they learn the precepts, and they take that to heart. And someday they may be a township trustee in Brimfield.
Do that.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Okay, well, you wanna go ahead and start?
Yeah, all of you girls that belong to troop number 90427, I would like you to come up. Come up and stand up here.
Sneak right by right there.
And I still have my brownie pin. I was gonna bring it, but I couldn't find it. Come on over this way. Now, if you like, I want you all to turn around because she would like to take a picture. Can you all just kind of group in there like you know each other? Yeah. So all your face, don't hide your face. You want all your faces to be seen.
Ready? Cheese.
Okay, now turn around to me. And as I present this to you, would you say real loud your first name? Okay, this is a certificate of attendance, and I understand too that you all will each receive a badge to go on your sash or your vest that you have on. So let's start with you. What's your first name? Ruby? Thank you for coming. That's a certificate of attendance. Mila? Say that again. Adeline? Okay, it's different. Okay, and your name, please?
Are they getting the right?
And your first name?
Oh, okay.
Kenzie. Okay.
Whitney.
Whitney? Oh, good, I could hear that. All right.
Emily.
Evelyn?
Meadow.
Meadow, okay. Okay,
Brindley.
say that again.
Brindley.
Brentley? Thank you. And I appreciate all of you coming. They're working on your government community act. Is that how you call that?
Democracy.
The democracy, and you're gonna learn a lot. I promise. So, Mike?
I got two more.
I might have to give, I'm short on another or that many.
Olivia.
Olivia?
I'm gonna be
You
short.
missed one.
We're gonna be short one, so.
That's fine.
Do you have
We
one
missed
more?
one. That's Emma. We missed one.
All right, well, we'll get printed and brought down to the truth for you.
Okay. All right.
And then.
Then we got Truth, 9044.
Oh, yes, you want to give her your daughters and,
Yeah.
okay, let's do that. That's nice.
Here you go. Thank you.
That was very nice.
446.
9044.
Oh.
Hey, well, thanks for coming. I know it's probably better than you wanted to do. But being a trustee is a great time. And who are you? Abby? Congratulations. And your name? Thanks for coming. Okay, the meeting gets much more exciting. Okay. Police, Nick, were you gonna read the police department stats?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, for the business section, we'll now talk about the police department. Chief Mosley is out of town on vacation. We wanted to just give a couple updates. First, Brimfield PD recertified by the OCJS and Ohio Department of Public Safety for meeting best practices, policy standards established by the Ohio Collaborative Community Police Advisory Board. Their next assessment will not be due until 2028, so congratulations on them on getting that taken care of. We want to remind everyone that the Brimfield Police Department Thanksgiving Village Cruiser will be November 9th at Walmart. So that'll be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. November 9th. That helps the food coverage, and they bring in a lot during that event. So please put that on your calendar. Lastly, they wanted to remind everyone that we will have an after-action review from our Asher exercise. This is the exercise that took place up at Field High School on Friday. This was a practice exercise that they worked with Portage County EMA and surrounding districts on to test our response to situations here in the community and look for areas of improvement, which they'll discuss during the after-action review. He has no requests for board approval at this time.
Thank you. Okay. Now we go to the fire department. Chief?
Okay, just to follow up a little bit on that Asher exercise, about 100 participants participated on Friday. All local police departments, all local fire departments. We flew in a helicopter. We had an exercise with 15 victims. We were able to handle the whole exercise within 45 minutes, which was very good. Ended up taking all day to complete everything, but 45 minutes on the real life scenario last Friday morning. Everything went well, and it was really good training. Probably the first training I've ever done at that capacity in Brimfield. We've been a part of other training exercises, but not our own. So it was very good.
Was that one of the largest ones you've ever had? Or?
Yeah.
You said you had multiple different jurisdictions there?
Yeah, we had everybody. Like I said, about 100 different participants, helicopters, everything. So
Did you get any, was there any news?
I I don't know, I didn't handle that. We were thrown into a scenario that was all secret until the day of, so
Oh, really?
we were a little busy.
Oh, that's great.
But Brimfield represented very well, so one of the better ones we.
Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, it turned out really good.
If you follow the Portage County EMA page, they put up a lot of updates about it as it was happening. And they actually really put on a good program, right, EMA, to Portage County.
Second, firefighter interviews are ongoing. Hopefully I'll have 2 candidates to you by next trustee meeting. We're still in the process of interviewing right now. And then last thing I have is looking to move forward on the purchase of the 2 new garage doors for the garage out back. I was asked to get that quote and an electrical quote. I do not have the electrical quote in front of you because I got an electrical quote for putting up more additional lighting in the garages and then realized that the whole electrical panel does not work. So we'll need a different electrical quote to complete that. But in front of you right now is 1 garage door quote. This is someone we used before. If you want to approve it, we can. If you want to wait, we can.
Well, it's what, NOPEC money, so
I think we should approve it.
John suggested we go ahead and approve it. Do we have any light in there now, or?
Well, so we have a single light bulb on each side, and that's where I wanted to get more lighting in there, but no. We don't have
I mean,
any
there's
electric.
gotta be a 110 service, right?
So there was service, it's always been there until the project started, and then now we do not have service. That has to be looked at.
So I have asked Rycon, or specifically actually QCI, to go back and look at what happened with the electrical out there to determine whose responsibility is to reconnect it. So I just asked that if we do get a quote, we just make sure we're coordinating and ensuring that Rycon and QCI are part of the process to resolve who's on the hook for reimbursement.
What was their first response for you?
Their first response was that they didn't touch it. But as we keep looking at it and kind of exploring what happened, it absolutely appears that they were in there and doing work. So I had a meeting with QCI and asked them to really dive in and see whose responsibility that was. If they did disconnect it, did they have a responsibility to reconnect it? So I just want to make sure that we find the answer to that before we move too far forward with that.
Okay.
And only on your action items, you have that they actually paid for the damage they caused to the gazebo with the electric Rycon did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once they fess up, I think they're gonna.
Yeah, and then I would say if we are looking at getting new garage doors, are we going to keep with the colors? Are we gonna look at changing it to match the town hall and fire station colors? I don't know what the siding is, but I know we're just looking at the doors. Do we want to keep the coloring that we have now, or do we want to look for the future of making everything match?
Do we have a statute of limitations on the NOPEC funds?
Yeah, there's so much you gotta use up, yeah.
What's?
Well, this 24's money, but you have to use it by the end of 25 or it's gone.
So we have another 1 year.
You have to, actually.
Okay.
Yes,
Do we have vinyl siding up there? Is it vinyl siding?
I believe it is. I went and looked at it and it is vinyl. It looks vinyl.
What, did they pick a color on this, or is this just up to us to pick which
That
color?
was brown doors, the same as ours now.
I mean, how hard it would be to, well, I don't know, when we changed the doors on the garage, the station, they charged more money because of the color, which makes no sense, but, can you guys figure out what do you want to match at the town hall? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I would just go with brown doors. If you guys want to change siding, you might want to change the color of the doors, but
I don't know who I get to siding in the garage, how old is the siding?
Can't be that old.
yeah, I don't think it's that.
that garage is.
I remember when we put that siding up on the garage door? It wasn't that long ago.
It was after my time, or before my time, so that was 18 years ago, so it's yeah.
It got a roof about 5 years ago.
It got damaged with the
Yeah.
other ones that we had.
Got a new roof put on, the siding looks fine. Whatever you want to do.
I couldn't tell if it really needed replaced. I drove by earlier. There is some broken on the one side. I think it just got damaged. I don't know. I don't know that it needs replaced. It was just a thought that came to my mind of,
Let's just
do we
stick,
want
we'll
to?
stick with the garage doors right now, and then we can all go up there and look at it and see what we think.
I would like to just at least earmark the money for
Right.
the NOPEC funds. Then it's a good project and we're gonna utilize that both as parks and fire storage, getting it updated and those garage
Well,
door
Greg
openers.
promised that he's gonna clean all that crap off the porch.
What's that?
You got rid of
We
most
did
of it.
clean out our side. It's gone.
No, on the
The
porch.
bed,
Oh, the beds?
the bed.
Those are gone. They're gone. That was- that's
Never
all
to
gone.
recharge. It'll stay
Never
as a
to
porch.
return. They're gone.
Okay.
Nick, you gonna make a motion?
So y'all make a motion
We
to,
really can't make a motion for the siding, because we don't have the price, so if we just do the no.
just for the doors, yeah.
Just the garage.
Yeah, to use so I'll make a motion to use NOPEC funds to purchase garage doors and garage door openers not to exceed $3,300 from Dynamite Door.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
John, do we want to go ahead with those doors or just hold on that?
Well, I would just ask and figure out what colors options you have. Maybe you guys just figure if there's a different color that would work better. I mean, if it doesn't cost any more money, just check that out first and then do that.
Because he can put the doors up, obviously, and then the electric can be ran to the doors.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have electric in there to put them anyway, so we. I do have a quick.
I wouldn't want to, I would just ask how long the quote's good for, right? Because if we delay it too long sometimes, then they're gonna make that price go
Oh, well,
up.
we can
So-
accept it and tell them we're good. I would just guess I would ask what colors they are, and then we would install them, and then they can put the electric on them after the fact.
Again, I just told him dark brown for now. I'm sure you have your generic colors of white, brown, whatever.
I'm an off subject, but it's in that general category over there, the electric box that's over there, that's all overgrown, are they gonna cover that, or what are they gonna do? It's right next to the patio, where all the generator is and all that, it's just all, it's fenced in, but it's all weeds that are this high.
Dave already took care of that.
Well, I know, but is it gonna be, we have to whack it down every year, or are they gonna
Well, I would
cover
think at
that?
some point we'd spray it probably and just kill everything inside.
Okay, I didn't know if they would
I-
put something down on there.
I don't think you can put too much around because you want the airflow in there too.
I mean, it's like a chip and seal kind of thing, just to make so nothing grew in on the, yeah, it's just weeds just.
I can
You know,
follow up,
it's-
I can follow up on that. I do believe that in one of our last meetings, they talked about there should be more gravel in there. So I don't know that what it looks like today will stay that way. I'm waiting to hear back from the architect on what that was supposed to, what the
I
ground
was just
cover was
thinking
supposed to
about the
be.
side of the garage, as Craig cleared up, that was all kind of just matched right into that, it just really looked bad.
Yeah.
over there.
I wish they put something better than gravel, because Dave, you know, you're a farmer. Like, weeds grow in anything, you know,
You're gonna be spraying that all the time.
and then not stop spraying them. And, wish they would have put some kind of pad on there or something.
I don't know if they need to get to the wires.
So then, Holly, then, my understanding, you work with the powers that be, like the electric service coming in there?
Yes, to resupply the electric to the garage, yeah.
Okay, good.
And then just last comment, just say what Bill said, there is a whole pile of stuff that they just left. They-
Yeah, that's what,
I would agree with Bill, that's not ours.
well,
So,
Scott, you know, because I asked
They should
Scott,
send it back.
I asked Scott about it last time I was down there, and he said, yep, that's all yours.
so I was gonna say it is ours, so when they got the contract, it was all purchased and we made revisions. I believe a number of those drains were for the old bay floors. And we redesigned that, so we were not able to return them. So those are ours, we will be selling them. Any changes that we made, if the equipment items were already purchased, they're ours to resell, which we'll do once we get to the completion of the project. It might have been more than just the garage floors. I'm not sure if it was in the driveway as well, but those are ours. We own them and we would have to sell them to recoup the funds. The adjustments that we made that put us in a position not to utilize those drains actually saved us a significant amount of money. So although there is a lot of money in product, we probably saved about 3 times that amount in the adjustments to the project that were made. But
Bill said he
we're
wants to
left with
buy
some
them for
product that was,
$12,700.
they're expensive drains, yeah. They're,
$350.
yeah, they're expensive.
$35.
So, yeah, if you know anybody wants to buy them, there you go. Honestly, you could. They're very good drainage.
You know anything about those days?
I've seen them the one time I was up there, that's,
Is there anything we can use them for?
I mean, unless you build a new building, you added them in, that kind of stuff, but as of right now,
How's your road department building?
Same place it was 6 months ago,
no.
same spot.
Okay. Okay, well, that's it. You good? Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Holly, for looking into that. Just keep us posted on
Yeah.
whatever else
Electrical.
they don't need left and all that. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay, administration.
All right, so at our meeting on September 17th, I provided you all with some information on designs for township signs. So I wanted to continue that conversation today to see if we need more information, if you guys have any questions, and just so we can figure out next steps with those. So I provided you, we had 4 estimates. Ranging in design and type of product that was used. We tried to get a variety of different designs, whether it's stone, cabinet design, wood. So you'll see various designs in that. So I guess I will just open it up for you guys to ask any questions. Let's kind of talk through this and see if we're at a point where, like I said, we're ready, we need more information or we're ready to make a decision on signs.
Did look at them.
I had a preference. I don't know if you guys have preferences.
I like them. I guess my only initial comment on it is consistency in theming, right? So if we can try to stay as consistent with the entrance size, it don't have to be the same size, the same elaborateness to them, but I think that helps with marketing, it helps with consistency of the township theme. That was why I originally had brought up the discussion about the signs, was trying to, we have so many kind of a mismatch of things, right? So how do we get to that structured same way?
Holly, which one did you like?
So I was fond of the signs from GDI. So if you're looking at the GDI packet, I'll hold it up, it looks like this. So the sign itself matches our entrance and exit signs, but the posts are different. So we did explore signage using the stone on the bottom. It is pricey. It does look nice. So, we did get some quotes just so you guys could see what it would look like with a stone bottom on there. So those are some options in some of the packets you received, but I did like this, this design.
I did like the GDI, I like this one too. Here.
Okay.
Sorry, so you can see it too. And instead of the brick, it almost looks like brickwork down there, but if it was the stone to match, it's not a lot of stone, right? It's just a small piece of it. Maybe that's the smaller signs, the bigger signs is that, if we did the wood the
Yes.
same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that we kind of incorporate that all together.
Yes.
You're
So,
thinking this one somewhere?
No, this one here.
Which
Like
is
if we
the
did
pole? Yeah.
the wood pole to match those, the wood that Holly was talking about, just do a little bit of the rock work at the bottom and then it all matches together.
But I mean, the same style with just one side?
Yeah,
Yes, or like this?
yeah, kind of small ones like this at the entrances. And if we need bigger ones, we could do the one that Holly showed at the bigger location.
Oh,
Are we gonna use the green or the
not
white?
the color, I think.
Not the color, just the design.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
design, but then the white
That
side.
color, yeah, there, but do the rock at the bottom.
so what I had looked at was this would be some of our signs for our smaller areas. So for example, the athletic fields depending on where we want to go with this, maybe your walking trail or your dog park, somewhere a smaller area might get the design like this, and then something like your community center, McGuire Park, would get the first one I showed you.
Are they gonna be able to see these from the road? What size is that?
Yes, so
It says 30 inches by 24 inches.
Bigger than a stop
So
sign.
if you look at the GDI package, there is a sheet on there that lists the costs And I did give them, just based on my best guess, which signs I thought would be better in the small version and which ones would be larger. So you can see the sizing. I will go back to them. I'm not sure that those smaller signs had any type of stone, so I can go back to them and ask them the pricing to add the stone to the bottom, and we can bring that
As soon as we
back.
get a final design of the sign itself
Yeah.
and then what we want to look to be, they can put together a full package and then we can explore just a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year process and the ones that we can start to roll out right away.
Yeah, and similarly, in that quote, there's options for the type of posts. So we can do cedar posts, we can do,
I like this one.
yeah, that was what I
mean, that was
found,
good for
yeah.
parks and stuff.
So they do have different ways of doing the posts as well. So, depending on what we want that look, that package has options, whether it's cedar or a treated lumber or, various price points for those, of
I
course.
know, we're getting to that point of the year where we're gonna decide on the signs and we're not gonna see them until next year. I mean, we still have trails and stuff that don't even have signs.
I was looking at the picture here of the 4 signs that we do have already that are up. And my first concern was, well, if these are in good enough shape, maybe we should keep them. And then the more I look at them, and they're really close signs, two of these are really show some wear and tear on them. And yet all 4 of them are a little bit different from each other. And I think.
Yeah, we got them multiple times.
We don't have that consistent theming and I think if we can, it could be a phase-in project. It doesn't have to be all done one pass, right? Like you could phase some in for 25, some for 26, some for 27.
But I think if we go to replacing these 4, then that way they'll be consistent throughout the community.
Yeah.
You won't have these 4 different main points here that are so different. And this one sign, it looks like it got mold all over it.
Yeah, the
You
Twitchell
know,
Trail.
that's not
Yeah.
a first-rate place.
In your packet there's a spreadsheet where I listed everywhere I thought we either have a sign or need a sign. So just so we have a list in its entirety of the possibilities of where all these signs would go. And then, as Nick said, once we figure out what we want, we could do this like a staged approach. Maybe we do a few every year or, depending on what that looks like.
I mean, we're gonna be opening that new park, we gotta have signs. We don't have
Oh, yeah.
signs on our old parks.
So would it be fair to task you with going back now that if we can come to an agreement on the color of the sign, that sign design to match the entrances as close as possible?
Yes.
And then to put together a final bid packet to say, hey, if we want small signs, there are X amount per small sign. Big signs are X amount per big sign. And trying to add that rock base in there as an option, so we see what that price point is.
Yes.
I don't want to break the bank over signs, but also trying to keep that consistent theme, I think is important.
Well, that theme, if you remember, when we put the big ones in, those were all to make a splash, so we followed that theme. So by using the same color, that's what we already started with that.
Yeah, so we
But
want
they
to
don't
follow
need
through
to be
that.
huge like that with the stone.
No, I think if you shrink it down and you just do a small section of stone at the
Yep,
bottom
I agree.
of them, that would
I agree.
carry the theme through.
Can you mark off how many signs you think and where which one would go? Just so we know, like, hey, this one's these 6 are gonna go in these locations in town, or do we already have
Yes.
them on the?
She has a spreadsheet.
I don't have my.
Oh, okay.
So, and first I just want to confirm, so where I thought we might do the smaller signs would be the athletic fields, the Cranberry Creek, Twitchell Trail. We do need to discuss the library, where does the library fall in that? Are we looking into doing the library? Those were the ones I had marked for the small ones. I have the Horner's Hills on the list. I don't know if we want to put anything there.
Horner's Hill is just a green space.
Green space.
So I just,
I just put it on there to keep a placeholder in case we wanted to put something there in the future, but I don't know.
I think the
if
small
that's-
ones would be good for like athletic fields or those small trails, but the larger parks, we want a big sign.
Right.
And then we may add smaller signs for
I
trails.
think for
around those
the
parks.
athletic field, since you're gonna be having a lot of people coming into the community, you probably ought to have a big one, so they see it.
Well,
So-
go ahead.
Just what I've seen at other fields traveling, is there's usually a bigger sign and then a smaller sign for each field because there's confusion behind.
Oh, okay.
Am I playing in field 1? Am I playing in field 2? What is field 1 and 2? It's just kind of a guessing game. So if it's going to be more consistent, then I would say large signs, small signs.
Yeah, and I would just look at this point, you know, we've been made aware that soccer fields are going to be moving forward in another area. So I wouldn't necessarily want to invest in a large sign if in the next 2 years, those fields are changing purpose.
I just want one thing, just so we all are on the same page, just so, I don't want you to put them and order them and then all of a sudden we feel like they want you to go on here. I want to have them all where they're supposed to be and then you guys can look and see where they're at and then approve those so we can just go with that one plan. So I don't want you to be in the middle of that. So are you able to figure out like which signs you wanted to put in this spot, just kind of have them on a diagram so everybody can see and then vote on those and be done?
When you say, are you talking about location
Yes.
at the park?
Yeah,
I-
or how many you're gonna have at this field, or how many would you have at Town Square? I mean, just how many and what size sign would be there?
Yeah, we can do that. So I honestly, what I was looking at for these, it's just one sign. So we are looking at additional signage for all the parks. So Cassie has a meeting with Otarma?
Yeah.
Otarma coming up this month, and they're gonna walk through all of our signage, like rule signage, trail signage, mile markers, all of that stuff. So that is all just a little bit different, where these are, I'll call them like the main entrance sign. So you would just have one at each location.
Can you just mark all those off and then have them on a sheet, and we'll just sign them and done, and we don't have to worry about somebody not realizing where they were?
Yes, yeah. So what I'll do is now, if we're all in agreement, now that we've narrowed it down to those 2 signs, I'll go back to them. And in the spreadsheet, we'll mark which ones are the larger and the smaller. I'll get a final pricing and then we'll bring it back to you guys. You know, the one piece I think we'll have to talk about is who would do installation. I mean, we're talking about a phased approach. When they drafted this up, they put installation to be completed by us. I'm not sure if that's something we would want to undertake.
Again, that comes down to what designs you come up with.
Yeah,
If you're going with rock walls, no.
right, of
If you just put it in
course.
the ground,
If you're just sticking a post in the
Post
ground with
with cement.
concrete, yes, but not rock wall.
Yeah, okay.
Do we want to discuss the library piece too, just because?
We probably should, yeah.
So my thought was, just because we own the property, that we do the bigger sign, because if it was ever to change for some reason in the future, it's gonna be a big building that we would have anyways. So my opinion would be to put the larger sign there, and the township picks up the cost of that signage.
That won't be a sign we'll be able to use, because we're not gonna put it in the library.
Right, but the foundation for it would be able to slide out and put a new sign into it.
Yeah, I'd have to check on that. I will just double check, you know, can they, if God forbid the library is no longer there or moves, can we still use the posts? I would need to check on that. Yeah, and I just, you know, it is our building. Do we want to invest on that? We do pay for the building, water, sewer, trash, snow removal, repairs and maintenance of the building. Do we want to pay for a sign for the library as well? Or is the library going to pay for their own sign?
That's what I was gonna ask. Well, we do have a community room there. I mean, it's.
Yeah, it's gonna be library and community room. And my other concern is if they do it themselves, then we get into this back and forth about what design they want compared to what we want. This way we can just standardize it, and they're with our logos and our colors, and we kind of set the precedence.
well, and I would think if we were renting that building to Joe's Bar, that's the wrong word, any barbecue, that we would make them pay it because they're for profit, but this company, this is a community, we wanted them to be in town. It's like if we moved a charitable organization in there that was for the field residents somehow, that we would pay for the sign for that too, because it's our building. I would think that we would pay for the sign out there. But if we rented it to somebody else down the road and they're not a community organization, then we can pay for their own signage. That's what I would think.
I mean, I know we own the building, we pay the utilities, but it's an amenity for the community that I think has been well received by their statistics that they brought in.
Well, then we can pick the signage too. We can pick what it looks like and we just put the library on it. It's our sign. We can make it look like everybody else's.
So do we want a large or the hanging post sign?
I think I could see a large.
You're talking about
I mean, that's a-
$13,000,
How much?
1,300, I'm sorry, leave the comma, about $1,300 difference in the sign cost. Large?
Let's mark it as large, and then once we see the price breakout, I mean, it's not set in stone, we can make adjustments.
Sure.
And that would only have to be one sided, depending on where they put it.
You have it facing
Are these
towards the
both
street.
They're both sides.
To both sides.
I would have to ask if they could do single-sided,
I
but
think you almost need those,
I don't know where to place it.
yeah.
Okay.
okay, I will get more information and bring that back to the next meeting.
Let's stick to it.
Next item, so gazebo power has been restored. Rycon did agree to cover the costs that were incurred due to construction damage, which was just under $3,000. Town hall updates. I'll start with the move-in dates. So at this point, we are targeting a move-in of the last week in October. So this week, they are finishing up. What the holdup has been is the old town hall building. So the way the project was laid out, that was to be completed last. However, there's no firewall separating the old town hall with the rest of the building. So we could not move in a phased approach. It had to be, all of the fire suppression system had to be up in the entire building for us to get a temporary occupancy. So we're anticipating that the old town hall drywall and ceiling will be finished this week into early next week. Fire suppression in the old town hall will be completed early next week. And then we can get temporary occupancy, which would allow us to move in the week of the 28th. So that's the status of the move-in. In talking about how we enter the facility and doors and how everything locks and moves, I was made aware that the original design for the building was to have the first set of doors when you come in the front of the building, there's the vestibule. The design was that those front doors stay open 24/7, that they would never lock. And so I was just slightly concerned hearing that today because we have an expensive phone system in there. And I was just concerned about people being able to come in the first set of doors when we're closed. So in talking with them today, my thought was that most of your employees are going to be entering the back of the building, and that when we would get there, we keep those front doors locked. The first person in the morning goes and opens that door so that they can get in the vestibule. So I wanted to bring that before you guys today. The fire station does have 24/7 access. Their vestibule reception area has a similar phone and an emergency line. So if somebody came in an emergency, I would assume they're going to go to the fire station and they have access there to contact. Where on our side, there's nobody there. So I would like to see those, in my opinion, those doors locked if we're not in that building.
I don't see why we'd want anybody going to the fiscal office looking for help when the fire department's right next door. I mean,
What was the original design behind that? Were we putting an emergency call phone in there, or what was the thought process, I guess?
The original thought was that everybody could get in and out of the weather, but they couldn't get access to the building. They could just at least come inside, so.
Okay.
And then the phone would be there if they wanted to call for an emergency or something, but they would be out in the weather.
so Craig, is there a light?
That wasn't our choice, that's what they told us, that most people do, so.
Is there anything signage, I don't remember anything on the outside of the building that says, hey, emergency phone call or phone in here?
They owe us a lot of signs.
Okay, was that gonna be
There's
one
supposed
that
to be
was gonna
signage
be,
everywhere.
so someone that drove in the back could see that, hey, this is where
It
it
should say admin, it should say fire, there's a lot of signs missing.
Because remember, the old way it was done, that people kind of resort to, was they came to the town hall entrance to get the fire, because they were all together.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we're gonna lock that down, I'm not opposed to it, we just gotta make sure we're directing people in.
That's why I was hoping that we'd have signage over there, EMS phone or whatever you wanna put, so that if I'm pulling the back of the station, I see that, oh, there it is over there, I need to go to that.
We don't need two doors unlocked because that would be confusing.
Yeah, we'll make sure the signage, I haven't seen all of our signage, but I know they have it in and I know there's a lot. So we'll make sure that whatever's owed is there. And if we need to clarify signage out there to make sure people know where to go after hours, we can do that as well.
Because their entrance is a little harder to see than the town hall entrance, which is fine, we just gotta make sure we
Yeah.
direct people.
That's fine.
If you're coming for an emergency.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, people like to drive to the fire department instead of.
So as long as the signage is appropriate, I think it's best just to keep that front door locked while we're not there. And then, like I said, as soon as someone comes in the morning, they can open that front doorway so people can get in the vestibule.
Could just be access control, Joe, where it just unlocks at 8, locks at 5 or whatever?
The technology would be there, it's just not wired that way currently.
Okay.
It wasn't engineered, I mean, the style of doors would support it, we just need to add additional wiring. So yes, we could timer control that if we
In the future,
wanted
we could
to,
change
just
that.
require additional power supply and wiring.
Well, the employees work from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So there would be no need for anybody to come before 8 o'clock. I think you should lock them up and open it up at 8.
Yeah, we'll make sure the signage, if you guys are good with it, we'll make sure the signage is appropriate to direct people to the right entrance. The doors do have our hours of operation on them already. But yeah, my thought is let's just keep them locked unless we're there. Okay, next. So I do have before you a resolution to approve the Ohio Enterprise Zone Agreement for real property only between Brimfield Township and Woolman Industries. This was brought to you before. There was an error in just our order of steps for this, giving notice. And so we just decided let's sign it again to make sure that everything is on board and in line with where it needed to be. So you guys did sign this a couple months ago, but in order to make.
A second, we need another motion.
We do, and then we'll need you to sign it again, just so all the dates match.
Okay. So I'll make that motion to approve the Ohio Enterprise Zone Agreement, real property only. I don't need to read this whole thing. This will be available in your office. Multiple pages. Okay, so then I'll need a second.
I'll second that resolution between Brimfield Township and Woolman Industries for the Ohio Enterprise Zone Agreement.
Any questions?
We already reviewed it and discussed it at the meeting today.
Yeah.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
The next item I have before you
Yes.
is to approve an extension
We gotta
to,
sign that, guys.
Okay.
Make sure we do it right.
We'll get through this meeting and then we'll sign it.
yes.
Do it another time. We are on the left.
It's gonna go back before the commissioners again then too.
It'll go for signature by Woolland, I think the commissioners. Yeah. Who else?
Yeah, that goes to.
Yeah.
So you guys.
You got it.
Okay. I am requesting approval to extend QCI owner representative services contract through December 15th, 2024, an amount not to exceed $44,050. So just for everyone here, QCI owner's representative, they are on-site owner's rep, and they are here to watch all of the work that's done on our project to make sure that everything is done to spec and in accordance with any regulation. So just as even with the trench drains, they were on site and with us in the decision, not to put them in certain areas. Knowing that we do have those trench drains and everything was installed appropriately is part of QCI's role, which is why we hired them. We want to make sure that everything that's being done in that construction project is appropriate, and for what's not being done appropriately, they'll assist us in resolution.
When does their contract end?
So right now, we have Contract remaining funds are $1,114.72. We just, pardon me? Those are the remaining funds. So that's why we're coming to you for an extension here. So they're anticipating after this week, we have an on-site rep that's here full-time. Since we're wrapping up, really nearing wrapping up, his time's now gonna be reduced to part-time. So he'll be here essentially when any construction work is being done. So they'll cut his time significantly. However, as we near substantial and final completion, we're now going to be working with, I'll say, a higher level in QCI as we work towards resolution on any remaining outstanding items with the architect and the construction company. So we're putting this through December 15th. We are beginning discussions now to work towards resolution of any outstanding items. And QCI is hopeful that we can get to some resolution by December 15th. But if not by December 15th, then this will probably escalate to a higher level. I'll leave it at that.
We have to decide this. I mean, this is not the time that we need to bail away from them when they're gonna be the ones suing everybody and getting our money back. I mean, the only reason we're over is because this just keeps going on and on and on. So we do have contingency dollars that we had set aside in the budget, so we can figure out how to work that out. But I would think this would be the most critical time to have them there.
Is this $44,000 a retainer? So if we did December 15th and we didn't spend it all, will we keep what's left over?
Correct.
Are we guaranteeing them $44,000?
So if you look in the quote that's in the OneDrive, it actually gives a breakdown of what this proposal is for. So it's based on hours utilized. So absolutely, if by some miracle we ended this early and used half the money, then we don't pay the remaining fees. So they bill us monthly currently. They send us an itemized list of everything that they've done, who's done it. And then they give us their monthly invoice, so that will continue. So we would only utilize these funds as we're sent invoices for the work that's being completed.
The only unfortunate thing with that is that that's what they're guesstimating. We've been guesstimating
Correct.
a lot on this, so if they're off again, and we might have to come back again and say this is going into February now and we need more money. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if this ends up going to court, then we will have a different contract before us.
I would like to make that motion.
I'll second it. Have you kept track of how much money they've saved us?
it's a hard one.
That's a tough one to pinpoint, but in the end, you guys will be provided with an overview to see all the things that they've tracked, and in the end, what we'll get credits and refunds for, and I think that will help us to put a dollar amount to it.
The biggest thing that they did for us right off the bat, was it May, when they wanted us to resolve their additional dollars, Rycon wanted $720,000. And we paid $160. That was because of ODI, or OCI, CI. There's too many of those out there negotiating on our behalf, and there is also a plan for the additional $160 that we paid. So there is additional action where we might get some of that back as well.
Yeah, some of the things that are harder to quantify is literally every day they are there on top of all of the contractors on site, making sure that things are being installed appropriately in line with the specs. So those are things that it's hard to quantify because everything's being done correctly, or if they weren't here, you don't know what's being done under the ground and behind the walls. So that's where to, put an actual dollar amount. It's tough to do because every day they're ensuring that things are being done appropriately that we would never be able to do on our own.
Just an estimate on not an estimate, but an example. If we had had them the whole time, which I know we had reasons for not, we wouldn't have had that flooding issue. They would have known that the catch basins weren't hooked up there. I mean, they would have caught all that. But we know what it ended up being. So we thought we could do it okay without them, but I guess maybe we were mistaken a little bit. So.
Yeah, they will really lead the role with our attorney on this next step to recoup funds owed to us as a result of delays, errors, and omissions.
Okay.
So I made the motion.
All in favor, Mike? Yes. Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And just to close that one out, Moody Nolan did have a civil engineer come out and look at all of the drainage for both fire and town hall. And the civil engineer will be giving us some recommendations on how to deal with all those drainage issues. So it is a known item and the engineer's been out, and we should be getting something soon on how to fix that. New business, I have before you a proclamation from the township trustees honoring the success and commitment of Hamrick Packaging Systems on their 50th anniversary. So you guys have that proclamation. Mike has that for you guys to sign, and we'll provide that to Hamrick for their gathering.
I'll make this motion. It's a proclamation by the Brimfield Township trustees honoring the success and commitment of Hamrick Packaging Systems on their 50th anniversary. Whereas Hamrick Manufacturing and Servicing was founded in 1975 in Suffield, Ohio by two brothers, Gene Hamrick and Luther Hamrick. Has always operated as a family-owned business, currently operated by a third generation of family members. And whereas Hamrick, which operates in Brimfield as Hamrick Packaging System, began as a rebuilder and parts supplier for Meyer Machinery and has since evolved into a global leader in end-of-line packaging solutions. Whereas Hamrick is committed to delivering affordable made-in-USA automation, Hamrick has become a reliable, reputable, and successful business, not only in the local community, but also the global market, leading the packaging industry in innovation and customer support. Whereas the success of Hamrick resulted in continuous expansion, including a new state-of-the-art facility in Kent, Ohio, which spans 65,000 square feet with Hamrick Packaging System employing over 60 dedicated and hardworking individuals, including some of the packaging industry's most experienced professionals, bringing jobs and stability to Portage County and the surrounding region. Whereas Hamrick Packaging System has installed over 3,000 standard and custom packaging machines worldwide, serving customers as far as Lagos, Nigeria, Nanjing, China, and serving clients such as Kraft and Heinz, Procter & Gamble, Miller Coors, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, while also supporting local businesses like Great Lakes Brewing, Melco, Gojo Industries, Rubbermaid, and Superior Dairy. And whereas Hamrick Packaging System has been part of the Brimfield Township community for 50 years and has contributed to the betterment of the township, its residents, and the packaging industry as a whole. Whereas Hamrick's commemorative its milestone anniversary, we not only celebrate the history of Hamrick Packaging System, but also look forward to Hamrick's continued commitment to innovation and investment in our community.
I missed the rest of that. Can you read it?
Yeah, okay. I'll read it backwards. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the trustees of the Township of Brimfield, County of Portage, and State of Ohio, that the Township of Brimfield, its residents, employees, and officials thank and congratulate Hamrick Packaging Systems for 50 years of dedication, commitment, and contribution to Brimfield Township, its residents, and the community as a whole through its business as leaders in packaging solutions.
Amen.
The proclamation was adopted by,
Yeah, so Hamrick reached out, they're having an anniversary celebration, and they asked if we would do the proclamation, so that's why it's before you today.
So Mike, you made the motion. Anyone a second?
I didn't write it.
For 50 years? Yes.
that is one amazing place down there. I mean, it's like robots that they got going on. It's crazy.
Pretty
I think I
amazing.
went down with Mike.
Yeah, you did.
That's something else.
We have a motion to send that letter. So all in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great, thank you, that's all I have.
50 years. Wow. Okay. Mike.
Yep, thank you. Total fees year-to-date are $148,334.60. There's no old business right now.
Well, bye, girls.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.
New business, I have a request for board approval needed to set public hearing to update the zoning resolution section 311.02B2 to reflect all former GC district uses being moved to IC district. We have 3 public hearings that we're going to need to set. I don't anticipate anybody. There's nobody at the other meetings. This is a housekeeping issue. There was things omitted when we merged the districts from Regional Planning Commission, and when we went through the code section, we're like, where's all this stuff? So we're just putting the stuff when we merge the districts. This goes either back into the Appendix E or into the code section itself. And that unanimously was approved through Regional Planning as well as Zoning Commission.
So we have to have,
So these are the public hearings
three we
prior.
have to do.
There's 3 of them, the next 3. Yeah.
So when do you suggest?
Prior to the next meeting, I think it's in the morning. So if you want to do
Like
like
do 10-minute increments.
10 minutes, it'd be perfect.
So we can do a 7:30 to 7:40 to 7:50.
Perfect.
Okay, so
So we'll have to do individual motions on that though.
Yep, the first one.
29.
30,
Okay.
because today's Tuesday.
7:50. All right, I got you.
So I'll make a motion to hold a public hearing on October 30th at 7:30 a.m. for the update to zoning resolution section 311.02B2 to reflect all former GC district uses being moved to the IC district.
I'll second that.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Nick, you
Yes.
just do all
That's
this?
at 7:30.
Yeah, I can just go through them all.
Yeah, the
I'll
first
make a motion for a public hearing to be on October 30th at 7:40 a.m. To update zoning resolution appendix E to reflect all former GC district uses being moved to the IC district.
Second,
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And I'll make a motion for a public hearing to be held on October 30th at 7:50 a.m. for, to hear the updated zoning resolution appendix E to reflect the districts where medical marijuana distribution facilities are conditionally permitted.
Second,
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And then that concludes my report pretty much, but I'll give you an update before it's concluded. We do have recreational marijuana on the agenda. Zoning Commission approved that, and it is at regional planning. It'll be on a November meeting and within the districts that we'll be looking at. But we needed some advice from regional on that one, and there's quite a few things on November for regional planning that will be coming your way. I think there was 6 motions in total, so that they've been working on a lot of things. Rootstown was the first one to pass recreational marijuana that I've seen in the locations where they were doing, and we're kind of getting language back to zoning commission to find out where would it be best fitted, if at all. There are townships that are prohibiting it, and I've seen that quite a bit. So it'll be before you at some point in time, just a heads up.
Is the current, has there been any movement from the zoning commission on that? Are they recommending zoning districts, or are you just reviewing?
No, so they sent that off to regional planning to get feedback on where would it be best fit as well as the language. So they requested to regional, the language proposed, and we're kind of mirroring Rootstown's right now. Obviously, it's got to fit in with ours. And there still isn't a vote that they might vote to try to prohibit. So we'll see.
Okay. Any other big news or?
The light was approved for Drug Mart, so that is a big move. They sent me the information on that. There was a recount. I don't know if anybody's seen them recounting out there. When they did the traffic study, the first time they were counting when Kent State was out and elementary school was out. So they redid those numbers because there's an access point off of 43 by the light, and the proximity within the light, that needs the most current numbers. And it's a variance request too because of the proximity within the light, which I don't foresee any issues with, but the light was the big one.
So the light's been approved.
The light's been approved, so, yeah.
What about the light for Speedway? Anything on that?
I haven't heard nothing yet. I'm sure that one will be approved as well. I did talk to ODOT verbally. Sheets, rather.
Or Sheets?
Sheets, yeah. No, Sheets, I don't foresee any issues with that one as well.
And
I had some verbal approval on that, but I don't have anything to write.
They're doing the inside now.
Yeah, they're moving fast.
Hopefully get the light up soon then, because they're gonna move that fast.
Yeah, it's going really quick. You got to be part of the contingency. We won't allow occupancy until everything gets done. So
Well, how long can it take a light to get put up?
it's not the light install, it's ODOT in the review process. And they're backed up, so. And then we put in a request to lower the speed limit as well, so they're also looking at that in addition.
That would need a big sign.
Mhm.
We're talking signs. I don't think these people see our signs. Okay, well, thanks, Mike.
Sure.
Okay, next. Hey.
Yeah, just a couple quick FYIs, or however you want to say that stuff. We fixed a few areas after Brimfest. You'll see a lot of seed and straw. We fixed a bunch of stump grindings at the cemetery. That concludes that project, remove the trees and stuff. We burned a couple places where we're having a little bit of a water issue. Fixed a few potholes. Just to let everybody know, our new dump truck has finally showed up. It's at the shop. So if you want to come see a beast, come see this. This thing's huge.
Okay.
I need a bigger building to put it in. It's inside.
It's bigger than the other ones?
Huh?
It's bigger than the other ones?
Yes, it's bigger than the other ones. So the plow size is the same. They're all still 11 footers, but this one actually has 11-foot bed on it. The size of the truck, it's almost like a semi cab coming down the road at you. Scare a few people with this thing.
You drive it?
Huh?
You drive it?
Yeah. If I can get up in it. No. Yeah, no, I drove it. Yes, it's a very nice truck. All the controls and stuff are right here. It all angles to where the driver, all he has to do is just look at a button instead of reaching for buttons. So if you want to come over and see it, it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a really nice truck.
We just need the keys.
Huh?
We just need the keys.
All the keys ready. I was joking around today, but I was thinking about it. Even if I wanted to touch a truck, I think I would have to put a set of stairs where kids can get in it. I mean, it's a pretty good step. So it's a really nice rig. And it goes in Thursday to get all the decals and stuff put on it, so we're about ready for that.
Wow. Was there much damage up at the Kelso or?
Just tire tracks. It was just tire track where some people got stuck. We went ahead and fixed the area up at Drug Mart, which we didn't have to use topsoil there. We just smeared it shut with a bobcat and seed and straw. So that way, because they asked Cassie, we put it back the way it was. So that's what we did. But at the Kelso house, we couldn't do that. The areas were too, I don't know how you say, we couldn't get enough loose soil to fix it, so we had the topsoil. Yeah. So.
Looks good.
Starting next week, we go back on 8-hour days, so we'll be here Monday through Friday. And the chip and seal jobs are completed. As of now, we're finishing up the paperwork. So, other than that, that's my report.
Yeah, the roads look good.
And them came out nice.
They did. You get a lot of calls about how bad they were with all the loose gravel?
Just a couple same people.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
They look like they're asphalted now. You can't even tell the difference.
I know.
The couple that, it was ones that I heard, I've never seen this done before in my life. So they're probably, I hate to say, probably came from the city to the township. So I mean, putting it bluntly, that's, because all these roads were chip and seal or motor paved before that we did. So it's not a new chip on a paved road or something. So, and other than that, that's all I got.
Well, thanks, Dave. Cassie.
Hi. I would like to request an amendment to my agenda, if that's okay. I did realize that I left off a discussion under old business regarding the location of the hometown Christmas event.
Okay, we're old business, that would be C.
Old business.
Wait, let's see, what?
We need
Oh, yeah.
A, or,
Where is
See.
it?
you should have,
Oh, it should be
it
three.
should be three.
It would be an update to old business, so A2.
A2. Okay, and what are we calling that?
hometown Christmas event location.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Well, my first update, as you all saw, the community center siding project is in progress. There was a little bit of delay getting some supplies in due to the hurricane, but they do have all the rest of the siding in and they'll be working to complete that project soon. So the front and this side are completed and they're going to be starting on the back.
Did they let you know when they're gonna start or?
They have all the product now, so they should be completing either this week or early next week.
Okay. How many days they work on it?
They've been working on it since last week, I believe, early last week.
But they haven't been here every day.
No. Yeah, they've had to work with us on a couple rentals here and there too, so.
Okay.
So then we'll go to A2 discussion of the hometown Christmas event location. We discussed that in the last meeting. I know we were talking about where we wanted to hold that event.
Yeah, I missed that talk.
So part of that discussion was, it was originally at the fire department. We moved it over to the council house during construction. It was, do we bring it back to the fire department base? Main reason being inclement weather, if we're able to host it and not have the cancellations. Last year we canceled, had a snow day, canceled again, and we never had that hometown Christmas event. It was fire there.
Yes.
So being able to bring that indoors takes everybody out from the outdoors again, puts them back inside, and then we don't have to worry about inclement weather when we host the event. So that was the discussion from 2 weeks ago.
Okay, I mean, my thoughts, because I did hear something about this. My thoughts is I just don't want to pull a rug out of the council house. You know, I totally understand we need the need for somewhere where we can get in out of the weather, because our weather is awful. But couldn't we just have some lights put up at Kelso? And I mean, are we gonna be lighting the library?
So we didn't discuss, the lights was a separate discussion. And that was really getting permanent lighting put on some buildings and then just approving a budget for Christmas lights. This discussion was specifically around how we're gonna handle the hometown Christmas event so that we can start marketing it and know where it was gonna be indoors or outdoors.
Well, my understanding too with the lights is that we were including the council house as part of that in our dollars.
Yeah, we had $16,000 to work with as initial budget. Cassie's gonna take that and say, hey, what can we do with it? Obviously wanting to ensure that we could light the tree outside the town hall or the gazebo, whatever it may be. So that if you remember, we used to do that, right? Santa would come in and then we'd all go out and watch them turn the lights on to officially start the holiday season.
Okay, so, I mean, the Kelso, you know, I know we're not talking lights, but the Kelso is beautiful with all the lights up, parts of it. Now, I mean, couldn't the Kelso House do some kind of little program for maybe older people or whatever, and then we do the kids down this way? I mean, we're just talking to make it into a big, not a festival, because I hate using that word festival, because we always get burned, you know?
Right.
They can run anything, you guys.
And they can run any event that they want at the council. The question would be, where does the official hometown Christmas event transpire at?
Right, and I mean, I don't know how we have any other idea but to hold it into a bay, because we know how the weather is.
Yeah, and that was my concern last year, is that we canceled twice, and that's a big event for the community. I know a lot of the families look forward to seeing Santa and getting to enjoy that activity, and not having it was hard.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the council's fault, that wasn't Cass's fault, it's inclement weather, right? And so we gotta find a way, how do we deal with that? I mean, we didn't deal with it with Brimfest, we had to shut down early because it stopped raining.
Well, and
So Ohio doesn't cooperate.
we had bad winters before it, when we had it at the garage, and we just did everything inside, is what we did. Wasn't the best, but at least you didn't have to.
So now we have the new bays, right? And they're, both sides, they're nicer, and Craig's able to rotate out light duty vehicles on half of it. We can't use both bays. The concern being putting fire engines outside with water in them, when we have those freezing capabilities.
I would think that we would only use the old bay as part of that.
Yeah,
All
and
that
that's,
stuff in the new bay.
that's what we had talked about, right, Craig, at the last meeting. We would clear out the light duty bay, which would be the old bays, and that whole area could be then used to set up whatever setup we want to do, like we did before.
Do you take any Any thoughts from the floor?
Oh, I definitely want to take some thoughts from the floor. I just don't want to hang the Kelso house out. I mean, I just think if we're gonna do a hometown Christmas, I mean, the Kelso house is a big part of the original township. So I don't, we generally don't do this, but I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts.
Well, personally, I think it looked beautiful at the Kelso, not just because it was at the Kelso. I had a lot of people say that they would park and get out and walk around in the evening or whatever. So that is, that was kind of like, that was really cool that they did that. I understand the hometown, the one evening where the kids came and saw Santa and had hot chocolate and all that. I understand that. And there isn't anything anybody can do if it's in climate weather. So, I don't know,
It was never like a fundraiser.
right, it's like,
It was just pulling the rug
it
on
really looked
anything
pretty.
in that respect.
But, yeah, if
Were
that's.
you
what
thinking that we were
decide,
taking the Christmas lights down?
Pardon me?
Did you think we were taking the Christmas lights down that we put up over there? Did you think we were not gonna decorate the
I
same
wasn't
way?
thinking anything.
Right.
I'm just asking.
No, I wasn't sure what the whole, what was gonna happen. I was just told that there was talk that it was gonna go away. So it was like, well, okay, it goes away, there's nothing we can do about it, but
I love the idea, because I mean,
I know, like, to me, the town square isn't large enough to put up a decent display. I mean, you could have a couple of things up there.
I thought we were just making it, and we were bringing the library in the middle of it as well, just kind of making a whole.
Yeah, so that's two separate discussions that happened on that day. The first discussion was about where does hometown Christmas go? And while we appreciate, at least I appreciated that we were able to be there during the interim, I just don't want to see us run into that weather problem again. And not only, it's a muddy mess, right? Like, we were all slipping and sliding trying to see Santa. It was,
Right.
so if we could, the idea was to move that back indoors so that that doesn't get canceled in the future. The lighting was, we were gonna look at how we can do the lighting plan. We have a budget of 16,000, that's the initial ask. Could it be more potentially? And part of the discussion was doing a walking path from the admin building through the library parking lot, which then could connect over there in the future to the Kelso house. But we've created that park per se, right, behind the library to the administration building. So that's the question, what do we do with lights? We don't have a plan for that yet. We just have a budget for Cassidy to go out and say, this is my budget, what can ABC company provide inside this budget?
Well, I think we just have a nice lighting tour. I mean, that whole town center, you could do a lighting tour. I mean, because the Kelso house looks beautiful with lights, we all know that. And
we just may have to spread it out a little bit,
Right.
right? Not be as condensed on one property.
Right, I mean, but just still have it, have it pop.
Right.
Because if you go by Stowe, I mean, look how they have that big area where you see all sorts of people strolling around there.
Right.
No matter what we think, people still come to our town to look at our Christmas lights from out of town. Suffield has a spectacular little Christmas section in their town just to drive down there, so,
Well,
I
there's
mean, we're gonna have.
Well, it's been advertised as part of the driving tour, right? Like, you start or end at the town hall or the Kelso house, do your driving, and you can get out and walk and see it.
Right.
Well, that's a lot of things that families do as well. Holidays, they want to look at Christmas lights, so that's kind of,
But if
one of them be on that path for Brimfield.
But if you get the library to be lighted up too, that whole area.
So the talk was permanent lighting on the library.
Yeah,
And also,
that was approved already.
Yes, so permanent lighting on the gazebo in the library have already been approved. That's already in motion.
but then there was talk about, remember how we built the archways? Doing the archways behind the library over to town hall, so you could like walk past the library up to the town hall with
Yes.
archways.
And those were paying to build.
SMC Light Display did those for us last year, and he's willing to work with whatever plan we have, whether it's at either location or both locations, he can do that for us.
Do you guys have a problem with the permanent lightings over there? I guess I don't,
No,
even with putting
no,
them in the
our
whole
board
building?
approved that. I mean, we were asking.
Well, no, I
about it.
guess I was just curious because we were worried about the structure and drilling stuff into it and doing, I didn't know if that.
No, we didn't
Yeah,
talk about
I
it.
think again, it's two set, we're not talking about changing the lighting, we'll still have some lighting there, it's really the event, so I think, just as Nick said, there's two separate items, we're gonna have lighting across that whole area, it's just moving the event over to the fire
Do
station.
you care that the event's not there?
No, I agree that the event's better at the fire department. You don't have to worry about the ice and the mud and the snow.
The only thing I'll say about having it, in years past, we had a lot of groups that partake in that. I don't know if you wanna still do that.
I think that's the idea, is to kind of bring
When
it back to that
COVID
bar.
happened, that all went away, so you really have to work forward with those groups, because they've all kind of just, all right, we haven't done that for a long
I'll
time.
say two of them
so-
don't exist anymore, the Chamber and the Garden Club.
Right,
So I think it's gonna take a little bit of work, but there's new organizations or new companies in town that might.
Didn't the high school choir perform?
Yes,
I've already reached out to her, she's available, so.
yeah, we don't,
I mean, we can serve hot chocolate in the garden if we want to.
Right,
We just need to know, because prior to our grounds being lit, we lit them to the best of our ability.
yeah.
If we need to make plans to do that, then we gotta make plans to do that, so it's just a FYI kind of.
I'm just speaking for myself, we will continue the lighting.
That's what I was under the impression we were gonna do. I thought we were just gonna make that whole section. It was just gonna be done by us, the library, the town hall, the council house.
And I don't want Gene or Ralph, hope on matters.
Yeah, right?
If I wanted to get rid of
Are you guys all right with that?
So we should make a motion then.
well, I mean, the motion's already out there, it's already been approved, to move the event, to have the event, we did that at the last
Oh, you
meeting.
did approve that motion?
And then
We
we
were just
approved the
concerned
16,000.
Yeah.
I think the other motion would be in the future, if Cassie was to come back and say, hey, I get 16,000, but I can't stretch that to do what needs to be done, then we need to have a discussion at that point financially, how we deal with it.
Yeah, and we're also gonna come back, you had asked for additional quotes for the permanent lighting, so that'll also be coming due as
And
well.
that's different from that.
For the remainder of the town hall, the fire station,
Police
Kelso
department.
House, and there might be one.
Well, there, and you said
We
you
had a
guys,
police department.
Police
Yeah.
department.
just so you know, Craig came to me with some ideas and I told him to get in touch with Cassie so that they could work on the building as a whole. I didn't want Craig doing half the building and Cassie doing the other half in a different, I wanted them to match, so I think you guys are working on that together?
Yep.
Okay. So we should be good with that, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Craig, real quick, I mean, you got blue lights up there now. But there's they look good, but there's parts that aren't lit up, is that?
That's because they tucked them underneath.
Oh.
They're up there, but you just gotta come under a little bit more. And the blue's not, so that was supposed to be purple.
Hey, the blue look good. There's nothing wrong.
I got plans for Halloween.
Okay.
Are you able to tuck them all up in there or pull them all out? Because it just looks like it's half and half.
I haven't physically got up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that would look better if it was one of them.
You got up there and looked.
What's that?
You climbed up there and looked.
Well, no, they're just attached, but where the soffit's pushed up in, that's where you don't see the lights. They're on, you just don't see them at a certain angle. So they didn't do a very good job, put it that way. Surprise.
Okay.
They'll just watch a TV over there.
Watching TikTok.
Okay, Cassie. Yes.
Okay, my next item is in
He's
two
acting
parts.
the chief right now.
So an update on Ohio House Bill 47. That requires public athletic fields to have AEDs on campus, just in case someone were to have a sudden cardiac event. So I researched and got quotes for the AEDs that would work best for our fields, as well as weatherproof cabinets. And I worked with Craig on that. And so the ones that I found that were the best, along with the weatherproof cabinets, came to a total of $5,750. I reached out to a couple organizations, including the Cleveland Clinic, and the Cleveland Clinic would like to give us a donation in the amount of $5,750 to cover the purchase of the AEDs. So I have two requests for board approval. The first would be approval of the purchase of the AEDs.
Well, let's flip them.
Oh,
Well, before
sorry.
we do a motion and all that stuff, would you tell everybody what an AED is?
Yeah, it's, oh gosh, what does it stand for? Automatic, is it defibrillator?
Electronic defibrillator.
Electronic defibrillator, thank you. Yes, it's when you have a sudden cardiac event, you put the paddles on and shock the heart back into rhythm.
Where are you gonna put it? You decided to play.
I think Dave and I are gonna work together on where the one for the town center fields is going to go. But the one for the Lions Park fields are going to go in the dugout. And we're gonna have some signage, alerting people where that is. And then along
Just
with
above
this,
where the kids can play with it while it's in there.
yeah.
It's been the first thing I would have grabbed, but no.
In the quote also, these AEDs do come with Bluetooth tracking, so if we are able to get a signal out there, we can track battery power, location, and that kind of thing.
And if they're stolen?
And if they're stolen, yes.
Just do the first one. Well, let's take the money first before we spend it.
Okay, that's a good idea. Okay.
I'll make the motion that we approve the donation from Cleveland Clinics in the amount of $5,750 to purchase an AEDs.
I'll second that motion.
AEDs.
How many are
There's two AEDs and 2 weatherproof cabinets.
All right, all in favor, Mike? Yes. Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion pass on the donation.
I guess I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of AED, 2 of them from American Red Cross for $5,750.
Second?
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, thank you. And as part of that donation, we're gonna get some signage acknowledging Cleveland Clinic and do some social media advertising for them on the project. And then I'm gonna reach out to the local paper as well.
Okay, so what brand did you get?
We went with the Life Pack. And then under new business, I wanted to discuss potential dates for Brimfest 2025. There was some discussion about moving this event earlier in the year. So we had a Brimfest meeting with the Kelso House, and the dates, the 2 weekends that we had discussed were Friday, August 8th and Saturday, August 9th, or Friday, September 12th and Saturday, September 13th. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that and hopefully decide.
My votes would get away from September. And I thought the last person that did the breakfast, Julie and Jeff did it. They gave me a few suggestions. I just want you all to listen to them. In regards of the breakfast, to wait on a few dates from the community before making the decision so early. Look at the football schedule, so it's not homecoming, band competition schedule, and so the township, or so the school band can actually attend the parade. The Brimfield Athletic and Youth Sports will actually do a bye week so the kids could attend if they open up communications with them. Also let the Lions Club and Kelso House have a say, which they've done. Since they end up doing so much for it, setting a date, so since they end up doing so much for it, setting a date so quick is something you didn't take, because it didn't take all interest into account. Have a great evening. There are football games in August, and Bernadette has been doing the Falcon Fest on opening night for the first home game. The schedule should be available early enough to push anything for a day today, anything to help increase attendance. So I just want to make sure you know that. I think if we would do it early in August.
You skip everything because St. Joe's Festival, Mogador, and the Summit County Fair are all in July. And then you don't get until, you have a couple of weeks off and then you get that fair.
So I think this would be,
Yeah.
I think that's back when I started these things, the only reason, I think I told you, or I told Holly, the only reason, I wasn't even a trustee, the only reason I did that date was because that was the only time I could get a carnival vendor, and I got three carnival things, and then it rained, it hailed, it snowed, and the guy that was serving beer got drunk and they drove him away. So, in fact, it was the Brimfield Music Festival, remember Chick, I had it in that next to Circle K, and then we moved it up again. We have been burned so many times in September. But if we approve it for August, we're gonna be burned there too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I'd
it's gonna be
rather,
100 degrees in August is my only concern.
My birthday's August 14th. I've definitely gotten rained out and thunderstormed out quite a few
I
times.
think maybe our odds are better trying it in August. And, and there's no kids, they're not in school.
But they're travel, the problem then is you run into family vacations, right? They're all traveling during that time. Like August is because it's that short 2 weeks that you get between sporting events before fall sports start, even though they're summer sports really. When we start fall sports, middle of August, which is crazy to me, but that's how it goes. And spring sports end right before that. So it's just a short vacation weekend for a lot of people that time of year.
I mean, I think I play a lot of shows in parks and stuff, and I tell you, I know the shows we play in summer are gonna be much more well attended than the shows we play in later in the fall. So I don't know, I mean, it's three of us, we gotta make a decision. I mean,
Have we reapproached the idea of trying to reach out to, now that COVID's over, things are back up and running somewhat more, to a smaller carnival company to see if we can get a few rides in and looking at dates that would work with that?
I think,
Yeah, we can.
Because I think that's the biggest complaint I hear from everybody is,
well, yeah, that's what sold it.
yeah, Brimfest is not Brimfest anymore because you don't have the carnival rides, we're not coming down, we don't care, it's not that great.
Yep.
I mean, it's what they're saying, so could we, before we make a date, can we reach out and say, hey, as a smaller carnival company, where could we squeeze in on this and get back into that rotation? I think that would make a big difference.
I mean, I think I don't think we have to make the date today. I mean, as long as we move towards some kind of conclusion. But I agree, I mean, nothing against what you guys put out there. It's just the carnival lights and everything, I mean, it was a great time back then.
You can get 3 or 4 carnival rides, that changes the whole dynamic of it, and I think your numbers are gonna go up because of that.
And then, and since we're just talking about it, I mean, nothing against the council house, but that grass is always, if it rains, it's so wet. I mean, I don't know why we couldn't shut down a road or two and set them up on the asphalt so you don't have to deal with all that wetness.
I mean, we could, because if we shut down Kelso Drive, we have enough power and water run right at the corner of the athletic fields to power carnival rides down that road through there.
I mean,
We just gotta figure out where we place it so we don't mess with fireworks too much, but there's a lot of power sitting there with the intention that we would move to this type of setup.
I mean, I can handle cold, I hate wet.
Yeah, and I can handle cold, I just hate heat.
Well, I have an idea, since we're just talking about things here to think about.
Chris wants to comment.
Since the last 5 years, we've been bummed out. We've been so bummed out with the Brimfest, don't have a Brimfest. The Brimfest last year, I had my popcorn stand, and I would say 75% of the people that came by and talked to me were not Brimfield residents. So my idea here that I've got word of here, we could not have the Brimfest and take that money and have a big Christmas parade. Have the high school band come and play, which they never show up for 10 years. I've never seen them march down the street. But my tax dollars support that band, and I love band music. So that's just a thought.
So they have a new director.
They have a new director. Well, I hope they don't do much. But anyway, if Brimfest isn't working for us like we want it to work for, we can take that and bump that up for a Christmas parade. Not a holiday parade, but a Christmas parade.
Well, if you could get
That's just a thought.
Mickey and Minnie Mouse.
Mickey and Minnie Mouse, and we could, I'll be Minnie Mouse, I'll wear the costume.
I would hate to see Brimfest go. I think it's a tradition, it's a staple of this community. I would be hard pressed, Chris, I see you like.
Having been the person who planned the parade and done the traffic control for almost 15 years, the date's not the problem. I've been here in September when that place is so packed, wall to wall, when the parade that lasts 2 hours long because there's so many people in it. It was never the date. So we can get a parade, we can get the people in September. If we want to have the big Brimfest, it's the rides.
It is the rides.
And that is the biggest thing, it's making a difference, that's why people came to it. And I don't know why I'm arguing for it, because it's such a pain in the butt when you provide security for it, there's so many people there, but you take and put it in August, you take and put it in October, it's still gonna be the same turnout if there's no ride.
I think that would be my challenge to you, Cassie, is can we start reaching out to carnival companies and see if we can get something in here and see what options exist? And if they say, we can't do 2 days, we gotta do 3, bring the price to us, so at least have that conversation. I'm not saying that we need to make it 3 days, but we've got to bring this back. I hear from a lot of community members that want that hometown feeling still, and we're not getting it with the Brimfest we're having right now. So we need to find some options.
Okay. I would encourage us to choose a date soon, just because those ride vendors do book up. They were actually trying to commit me to rides with Barker Entertainment at Brimfest. I said, when do I need to book with you? They said last week. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you go to them and say, what dates do you have open, right?
Sure.
We could be a little flexible. Maybe that's why we end looking at earlier September.
So maybe we can get that for us by next meeting?
Yeah.
Just to see if we have any luck.
Sure.
I know after COVID, they were all shutting down, so.
And I would reach out to, what's her name, Judy Concessions.
Yep.
Because that family not only does those concession trailers, but they do the whole carnival circuit, other family members. So she may have some contacts to get you into some vendors that can bring this stuff in.
Well, I would just want to see more people come in and celebrate the community.
Okay, so we're gonna table the dates.
I would table them just so we see what ride vendors offer
Can
us.
you just keep it on the agenda?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And that's all I have for you.
Okay, everyone else, Jody, then you guys have lunch?
I have nothing for the board. I just have, I guess as an update, I've been working in the new admin area, getting the network ready for our potential move-in. Everything is going splendidly. Just gonna continue working, probably have everything I need to have done by the end of the week. So whenever we move in, we'll have a working network, as much as we can. And I'm definitely looking forward to, I'm excited to see the board meeting room. And when the dais gets in and we're able to start having our meetings in that room is turning out very, very nice. So it is going good. All I got.
You got everything packed up?
I've got probably 80% of my stuff packed up. I've actually had to unpack a few things because I packed a little too early and needed to grab some few things. But yes, I'm ready to move.
Good. Good. Okay, well. What we're gonna do, we'll go into it, then goes.
I need you two to sign this.
They weren't here for public comment.
But they were part of the comment. They were in comment about the Kelso House and all of our issues with that.
I think I'd do it differently just because we also talked to Bill, but we didn't.
Ah,
Those are just
okay,
public
yeah.
comments, yeah.
Well, this goes to Holly.
I think John keeps those. I don't keep those.
Okay,
I'm
well,
just trying to get your name on.
well, we're going to adjourn to executive session for a 5-minute break. On this day, 10/15/24, trustee Mike Sensi moved to convene an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section 121-22D, for the purpose of considering the following matter. Number 2, to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
Need a second.
I need a second.
Second that.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Adjourned to executive session at 7:37. Convene at 7.
All right.
Okay, we're out of executive session, no action. We'll make a motion, then we end this meeting.
So moved.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes,
Nick?
who seconded
Yes.
it?
Motion passed, we are adjourned at 8:09.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we adjourned?